Good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for taking a few minutes to talk with me for a little while.
Sure.
So I really just wanted to touch bases with you about this new legislation that you're looking to pre-file.
Yes.
So obviously I've looked over the press release, but for somebody who may not have, can you kind of explain what you're looking to do?
Well, do you have the press release?
I sure do.
Okay. All right. So, I have drafted a series of bills, 5 to be exact, which I believe closes the current loopholes in our state system and improves our statutes as it relates to reasonable gun measures, which I believe, if passed, will reduce South Carolina's upward trend of gun violence in the state.
Sure. So I was looking over some of the bills as well, and one of the things that I wanted to ask you about is the background check plus bill.
Sure.
So I know that Congressman Clyburn went ahead and pre-filed some legislation to close that 3-day loophole.
Correct.
And just to clarify, this bill, it's not just for the state background check, it's also for the federal background check?
So, first of all, Congressman Clyburn did a great job with his bill. I simply go a step further in that his bill closes the loophole in the 3-day period if the background check does not come back in 3 days. Under his bill, a dealer would not be allowed to make the sale.
Okay.
I think that is a great proposal because what happened in the roof circumstance is the background check was not completed, but the dealer was allowed because it was in excess of the 3-day period to go ahead and make the sale. Under my legislation, it would mirror that aspect of Congressman Clyburn's bill. But it also would go a step further, and in addition to requiring a federal background check, it would also require a state background checks. And both of those, irregardless, there's no time period. So if it took 10 days, then that's when the gun dealer could not sell the gun until 10 days.
Sure.
In addition, my bill applies to all sales, including individuals who sell guns to one another. Under the current law, it only requires commercial and gun dealer sales. So if an individual wants to sell a gun to an individual, he or she would have to have a state background check and a federal background check, unless they'd be in violation of the law.
Okay, I understand. That was actually goes along the line of another question I was going to ask in regards to the gun regulation bill, because it obviously, if you're buying from a firearms dealer, you have to go through a background check, and in some states you do have to register your firearm. But I'm curious if all of these bills would encompass private sales as well.
Yes, private sales as well.
Okay,
so one of just to touch on registration. In addition, one of my bills requires that all guns be registered with SLED, and SLED maintain a gun registry. I only followed up on that because you mentioned the word registry.
Sure.
We do not have a registry in South Carolina, but my bill would require us to do so.
Of course. And this goes for both handguns and rifles as well?
Yes, correct. All weapons. All firearm weapons.
Sure. The next question I have for you is the last piece of legislation, the weapons purchase permit bill.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand that there's a concealed weapons permit process.
Correct.
But how would this kind of, I guess, go along with purchasing the weapon as well?
Well, what the weapons permitting requirements are is a series of rules that mirror the concealed weapon permit, but instead of waiting until you want to carry a concealed weapon, you would do it on the front end. So in order to purchase a weapon in South Carolina, you would have to have a weapons purchase permit.
Okay.
Now, you only have to go through that process now if you wanted to carry your firearm on you and leave your house. So we do it on the front end, whether you're in your house or whether you're in your car. So under my legislation, before you could buy a gun, you have to be, in other words, it's a pre-clearance process.
Okay.
You have to be pre-cleared.
So there would be 2 permit processes then. So if I wanted to purchase a gun, I would have to have a purchase permit, and then if I wanted to carry it, I would go through another permit process still.
Concealed weapons. But if you have one, if you get the weapons permit, you get the other.
I understand. Okay.
So we're doing it on the front end versus doing it only if you want to carry your gun out.
Okay. Is there anything else that you would like to mention about any of the bills that you're looking to pre-file? Or?
Then there's also the ban on assault weapons, and my position is simply that weapons that are designed for our soldiers don't belong on our streets. So I think that's a pretty tough. There's really very little outside of law enforcement. In my view, there's really very little sporting use and legal use that can be accomplished by carrying an AK-47. Those are primarily weapons used in illicit activity. And the only other thing I would say is this. This is not an attack against the Second Amendment right to bear arms. Mm-hmm. But the state is in a position and has authority to make reasonable regulations on the permitting and the use of guns in its sovereign, in its territory. And so that's supported by all of the case law, constitutional case law. And the goal of this legislation is to reduce gun violence in our state. And that's gun violence as a result of people who lawfully attain guns but commit crimes. And also on behalf of people who illegally possess guns and commit crimes. And so it's a comprehensive series of bills directly aimed at saving lives, including the lives of children, and reducing gun violence in our state.
Well, thank you again for taking a few moments to speak with me. I really appreciate it.
And no problem. And I think it's important to have a diverse audience, not just the gun crowd. I may send you a phone number of a lady who is pretty articulate on this subject in terms of, reasonable gun control measures. If she allows me to send you the number, I'll do that.
Absolutely.
Okay?
That would be wonderful. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Have a great week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.